Hi. This morning needed to pretty much finalise the position of the roll bar. Much to the lads with the Furies, especially the lad that did the extension pieces here, it did actually get me thinking to get back to the problem I had with exactly getting the amount of stroke that I needed with the rotational, with the rotational clearance, so that I could actually have full bump. So I could actually have full bump and full droop on that as well. I had to go back to the CAD drawing and pretty much rework everything, which also included basically this top plate here. Normally the rod ends would go this joint there between this bolt, but having the joints, if we say that way around, there was too much angularity change in that direction. Well, if you turn the rod obviously that way, the angularity change that way isn't so much of a problem. It's now only this way. Well, with a high angle joint, the direction this way, I think the swing's about 30 degrees in total, is fine. And the direction that way is no longer a problem anymore because it's just swinging round. So, good news is I finally managed to finalise a position for it on top of the gearbox, between the engine and the gearbox. It's a very short link here. It also means, unfortunately, I'm going to have to rebuild the plates for the rear rockers, but it's not a problem. If it gets this in, then so be it. So this morning knocked up a very simple bracket. At the end of the day, let's do it this way around. At the end of the day, this fits on here like so. Bolts down to the plate itself. The cable will then run under the inlet manifold, either a Holley high-ram or a carburetor style manifold. Both basically will have enough clearance to run this underneath. So I'll have to have a bit of heat protection, but apart from that, it'll be fine. So the bracket's made. I've got to drill 3 holes in here yet, 1, 2 in the middle, and then I shall drill through the adapter plate from the other side, and I'll bolt it, I'll counter bore it, and bolt it from the back of the plate coming this way. So this piece will just have the threaded joints on it, and basically will go there. So now my roll bar mount is made, which is cool. Bit of drilling tomorrow, bit of tapping. The fun part then is I've got to remove everything here again. I need the gearbox. Oh yeah, I have to the gearbox. So pretty much I have to strip the whole back end again. Because basically I've got to get the adapter plate there and spot from this side, drill through. I could do it on a CNC, but to be honest, I'll just do it by hand. It's just as quick. Spot through at the correct height, drill through, counter bore from the back, and then bolt through to that. So then that'll just be an integral piece to that, and then roll bar mount done. As I was saying, these rockers, to get the point in its sweet spot so that I don't have the 2 little bars that will go between the rocker and the anti-roll bar, to get their sweet point, it needs to be roughly about here. The hole needs to be drilled about there. Too far in, you can't do it. Too far out, just not a pain. So basically these, there's 2 plates basically here, that are almost identical apart from the 5 bolts that are in here are offset 36 degrees. So basically there's 10 bolts going through that, 5 from one side, 5 from the other. It's underneath here, you can't really see it. But I'm going to have to machine out new plates for this because I've moved the material out kind of round to here to cover up where I want the bolt and the mounting point, which is now going to be the link back to the roll bar. So I've got 4 of those to machine out, but it's simple enough on the mill. So, and I've got some plate left, which is kind of cool because that stuff is the stuff I brought from Britain. I think it's 20 2014 or 2024, I can't remember what the English equivalent is, but basically it's a stronger than 6061 material. HE30, HE15, HE15 I think, or H15 used to be the old grade, but basically it's stronger than 6061. It can take up quite a bit more force, so those have got to be replaced. So I've got 4 of those to machine, and also, like I said, this top piece here, that has to be replaced with a part that allows me to put a bolt basically into here, about there, to mount my new rod end, which will be here. This is a 1/2 inch, and whatever, I'll be using 3/8, it's quite a bit smaller. They'll be mounted roughly kind of here, so there's just nothing here to mount that to. I've had to go that way a little bit further to try and bring this whole unit further back enough. Originally it's going to be kind of here, but to make enough length in the actual little rod that goes to the rocker, I have to be in front of it to move this far enough away from the adapter plate so when it rocks forward and back, the blade itself doesn't actually hit the engine adapter plate. So I've had to move this back and then basically make this top plate so that the bolt now comes further forward into here, but at least it now puts in the orientation the correct way, and I've managed to obviously stretch the width to exactly what suits it better. So anyway, so kind of happy with that, quite a positive. It's been a real head scratcher trying to get that dialed in so that I didn't max this out for its, when I turned the whole thing off, because theoretically it's never going to happen in a billion years, but if you jack one side of the car up, then obviously one wheel will be completely down and one wheel could get close to its full bump. I can't see it because the car's so bloody light, to be honest. It's never going to induce full bump on one side without the other, not unless you take off and just land on the one wheel. It's so unlikely. But this maximum angle change here, like so, with it dialed off, obviously, with the roll bar on, it's never going to get there. But with it dialed off, I wanted to make sure that angle change there was enough to get the swing that I needed. It's took days, to be honest, to do the CAD sim to get that in the right place. It's really sad the amount of time I spent on that, to be honest. But it's done now, it's finished. Stop whinging about it, Clive, get on with it. Make the plate, hopefully, I can start the plate here tomorrow. And hopefully before Christmas turns around and our visitors arrive, I'll make the rear rocker plates. I doubt the rod ends that I've ordered are going to come in time. It's Christmas, so I just don't expect them to be here till the new year. But I can drop it in and we can drop a couple of bars in there and I can kind of show you how it's set up. So that's pretty much in. I think I already videoed across the front. Just dropped the rack back in yesterday. There's absolutely shed loads of room for all the bits and pieces, and obviously room for all the master cylinders. That's an AP I've got for the clutch, but to be honest, this area here is quite a bit larger than it is on a Girling, which is getting very close to there. It's only got about 2 or 3 mil gap there. This being a rubber joint, it could come back a couple of mil. Not much, but it could flex a little bit. So I'll buy another Girling for this, just to make it a little bit narrower. That's quite large, where if you look at these, it's not. So, but everything, it shows everything fits in nice and snug. Still plenty of room up here for the reservoirs. The reservoirs can go down the back there. There's plenty of room. Probably have to put the washer bottle. I'll probably end up down here somewhere. Get a small enough one that it gets in there. So I should be able to squeeze everything in there at the front. Obviously the battery, like I said before, is going to go in front of the passenger's footwell, just to get out of the way. Plus it also means that I can get a much larger battery in there. This thing ain't going to have some lightweight little thing that's going to fail on me and really drive me nuts when I'm stuck in the middle of the Arizona desert. So it's going to have a Optima yellow red top, can't remember which one. I think it's a yellow top and quite a big one. So I got shed loads of amp hours to it. I've got a big alternator, so I want to make sure that that's one thing I don't have to worry about. So yeah, that's back on the mill, making more billet stuff. So today's fun. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it's progress. Yeah, obviously once this wee beastie of an LS7 sold, I'll put all the original stuff back on. I've still got it over here, it's all in the manifold, and I'll wash out the sump, put that back on to make sure it's clean and spotless. Build it all back up to a nice little crate motor, and somebody will have it. Oh yeah, I did chop off the flange. I'm going to use these, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use these now. The turbo is a reasonable distance away for them, so they shouldn't heat up quite so much. But this flange is in the way, so basically I've cut the flange off. You can see here, there is no flange here now. So basically I'll merge this end into probably a 90-degree turn to come underneath this lower tube and down to where the turbo is going to sit, basically down here. So at some point I'll start to mock that up, and I'll pretty much do the cutting and tacking myself. I can get the pipe work into the turbo itself, and I'll then take it around to Mr. Unobtainium and get him to work his magic on it. But I'll pretty much do the handiwork, because it's not that hard. It's fun, but it's not that hard. So once that's gone, once a couple of tyre kickers have disappeared and a real buyer appears, then we should be ordering that RHS block and getting a strong bottom end, and then I'll have to fork out of my own pocket to probably get the heads and all the other goody stuff that's going to be on the top. It's probably going to be another, I hate to say it, another $6,000 or $7,000 out of my pocket, but I then have the engine that I really want. So there you go. Oh, 12 minutes, that's it. I'm boring people already. Right, I'm off ski. Speak to you soon, and happy Christmas to everybody. If I don't post again, may you all have a happy family Christmas. See you later.